most brands hit a ceiling. Around 3 million, 5 million, maybe even 10 million. And no matter what they do, more ads, new products, better marketing, all of these things start doing this in their home market. They just can't break through it. They get to this ceiling, and there's two types of ceiling. There's a business side, and there's an expansion piece. So what do the brands do? They don't grow harder. They need to expand smarter. A few years ago, we worked with a brand that was stuck at around 5 million. And I mean genuinely stuck. Not failing. Far from it. A great product, strong team, real customers who actually love them, real passion for their products. But every quarter looked exactly the same. The numbers would creep up slightly, then plateau again. They'd hire more people, push harder on ads, launch a new SKU. And still, the ceiling just didn't move. It kept on creeping up, bit by bit. But it wasn't enough to create a valuable business asset for the brand owner. So we sat down with the founder and asked one simple question. Have you ever thought about going international? So here's the plateau, the real problem. Because here's what's actually happening. Their home market, the UK, was mature for them. Customer acquisition cost had nearly doubled in the last 18 months. They were competing against bigger brands with bigger budgets. And the audience they hadn't yet converted, they were the hardest ones to reach. Those ones on the fringes, a bit further away. The ones that are outside of the, hey, you've got an interest. So every pound they put into growth was returning less than the pound before. They were pedaling harder, but they weren't necessarily going any faster, and they certainly weren't scaling faster. And this is the trap most founders fall into. Because when growth actually slows, the instinct is to do more of what already works. And that sounds natural, sounds the right thing to do. More spend, more effort, more pressure. But you can't out-effort a saturated market. And at some point, the only move is a new one. So they made the call. Let's go international. And look, based on everything we've talked about in this series, you know how badly this could have gone. Brands rush this decision every single day. They see international as a switch to flick, not a structure to build. They pick markets based on gut feel, if you like. They move too fast. They underestimate logistics, tax, currency, fulfillment, all of it. Within 12 months, they're always back where they started, but with less cash and more mess. This brand didn't do that. They needed to slow down before they sped up. It was a thought process, an absolute structure they wanted to build out. And that decision changed everything when they slowed down before they sped up. So what actually made the difference? Well, there was 4 things. First, they picked one market, not 5 markets, not a region, one country. They looked at their existing data, where they're already seeing demand signals from. Where were people already finding them organically? One kept on coming up, Germany. Strong e-commerce penetration, high average order value, and a brand appetite in their category. So Germany it was, and they committed to winning it before moving anywhere else. Second, they built the structure before they built the revenue. This is where most brands skip to the exciting part too fast. Before they ran a single ad in Germany, there was a ton of things they did first. VAT registration sorted, their pricing model recalculated with local duties factored in. and a fulfillment partner confirmed. It felt slow, but it meant that when the sales came, the margins were clean and understood. They weren't scrambling to fix the back end while trying to grow the front end. Third, they built a clean supply chain so that stock flowed from their UK warehouse to a small Germany 3PL partner to start with. Later, they added moving the stock directly from manufacturer into the 3PL. But delivery times were clear. The return processes were mapped. That meant there was no delays or surprises in the supply chain. Because in e-commerce, the moment your customer has a bad delivery experience, you're going to lose them. Internationally, that's even harder to recover from. Fourth, they layered their channels in order, in a sequence, a pattern. They didn't try to run every platform at once. They started with paid search because they already had proven creative from the UK they could adapt and make relevant in the German market. They tested. They found what landed. Only then did they open Meta, then organic, then retail conversations. Channel by channel, win by win. So here's what happened. In month 1, proof, small numbers, but positive unit economics. By month 3, there was some momentum. Germany was starting to see profitability on its own terms. And by month 6, they opened their second international market, the Netherlands, using the exact same playbook. By the end of year 1, 5 million had become 8. And that was a crucial step in their international growth, where they were stagnant and hit the ceiling of 5 million to start pushing to 8. Year 2, with a third market live, they got to 10. And by the time we're recording this, they're past 15 million and growing. Not because they worked harder, not because they didn't do something that other people weren't, but because they unlocked new demand curves. And each new market they entered compounded the ones before. The structure, the process, the systemization to a structured global expansion. That's what sequenced expansion actually looks like. Here's the big takeaway from this story. Expansion isn't about adding a new revenue line. It's about finding new growth curves, new markets where your brand can start climbing again from the bottom of the S-curve. Because here's the truth about saturated home markets. They don't get easier. They just get more expensive. And if you stay inside them too long, you'll spend more and more to win less and less. But expand smartly with the right structure, the right market, and the right timing. And suddenly you have more demands than your competitors can touch, because they're still fighting in the same piece of the market that you were in before. You're not. In the next video, I'm going to break down exactly how I would expand a brand today. If I'd start again from scratch with everything I've learned, what would I do first? What would I do differently? Some of it is going to feel obvious, but 1 or 2 things might genuinely surprise you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.